Hello world, welcome to episode 30 of the Jimmy Can Show, Classic Supercard Retrospective. What the world is watching, WrestleMania 4. Let's get into it. Alright, WrestleMania 4, WWF event, held March 27th, 1988, from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Alright, and this was billed as taking place from the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino, but the casino did not have a hall, and Trump was really just the sponsor for the event, which took place at the adjacent Boardwalk Hall. So attendance was 19,199. It was broadcast on pay-per-view, and it was later released on home video by Coliseum Video. This is a Mania, so, we have celebrity involvement. Those celebrities included Bob Uecker for the second year in a row, Vanna White, Robin Leach, and Gladys Knight. So the action was called by Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura. This is a long card, as we have, the 14-man WWF Championship Tournament plus 5 other matches to give us a total of 16 matches to discuss. So let's get right into it. All right. The opening contest was a 20-man battle royal. Participants included Bad News Brown, the Bolsheviks, which was Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov, the Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the Killer Bees, B. Brian Blair, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, Dangerous Danny Davis, George Animal Steel, King Harley Race, Hillbilly Jim, the Fabulous Rougeau brothers, Jacques and Raymond Rougeau, the Young Stallions, Paul Roma and Jim Powers, Junkyard Dog, Ken Patera, Outlaw Ron Bass, Sam Houston, and Sika. So this one ended with us thinking originally the Bad News and the Hitman were going to share the victory, only for Brown to double-cross the Hitman, give him the old ghetto blaster, and then toss him on over the top to claim the sole victory. The Hitman then re-enters the ring, and he takes out Bad News and destroys the trophy and everything. And this kind of helped start the Hart Foundation babyface turn. So the next 6 matches are all first-round tournament matches for the vacant WWF Championship. Out of the gate, we had the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, with Virgil and Andre taking on Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He does defeat Duggan by pinfall thanks to some interference by Andre, and this kind of helps set up some Duggan-Andre feud post-Mania. Next, Don the Rock Morocco with Superstar Billy Graham in his corner advanced over Dino Bravo, who had Frenchie Martin in his corner thanks to a DQ when Bravo pulled the official in front of Morocco's flying forearm attempt. So that, was the result of that one. On the other side of the bracket, Greg the Hammer Valentine with the Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart defeated Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, 2 former Intercontinental champions there. Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth defeated the Natural Butchery with Slick. The One-Man Gang, who also had Slick in his corner, advanced over Bam Bam Bigelow, who had Sir Oliver Humperdinck with him, and that was via a count-out. And then Jake the Snake Roberts and Ravishing Rick Rude, who had Bobby Heenan with him, went to a time limit draw and eliminated each other. And the reason that there were more matches on the one side of the bracket than the other was that Hogan and Andre got first-round buys. So a little side note here, the Rude Roberts match, also kind of fed into their ongoing feud that was going on at that, around that time, involving Rude hitting on Jake's wife, Cheryl. So that was, a little side story going on there in that one. Okay. So now we get our first non-battle royal or tournament contest. This was just a singles grudge match between Hercules with Bobby the Brain Heenan taking on Ultimate Warrior. And it wasn't your typical booking for the Warrior in this one, as he won this one basically by outsmarting Hercules. that was not, typical of Warrior and his frenetic, high pace, no sell type of thing. Not, for him to be cerebral was not in the character. I'm not, saying anything about the individual not being an intelligent person. I'm just saying the character wasn't portrayed that way. So what happened was Warrior pushes off the corner when Hercules was attempting to apply his full Nelson, and then both men, kind of go back in a bit of a belly to back type of pinfall attempt, only for the Warrior to lift his shoulder before the three, whereas Hercules' shoulders, remain down, thus giving Warrior the win over Hercules. So like I said, it's just not your typical Warrior booking. And I don't think you ever see anything like this ever again in his career. So now let's get into round two of the tournament. We've only got 3 matches in this round due to Rude and Roberts eliminating each other. So Gang has already advanced via a bye to the semifinals. So they kick off the second round with Hogan and Andre Part 3. All right, so who's going to win the rubber match? Well, neither. Hogan struck Andre with a chair. Andre, retaliated and did the same, both in plain sight of the official. So he turns around and disqualifies both men, eliminating them both from the tournament. So this means that the winner of the Dibiase Morocco match will now get an advancement all the way to the finals. Dibiase is the one that ends up doing this via pinfall over Morocco. So we've got one man in the finals already. So the final second round contest saw Savage advance over Valentine. So now Savage is in the semis where he has to face a pretty fresh one-man Gang. This is the kind of the story they were telling here, because Gang only went about 4 or 5 minutes or so in that first contest, and then didn't have to wrestle at all, in the second round. So he's pretty fresh, and Savage has already gone through 2, pretty grueling matches between Butch Reed and now Valentine. So, our first title match is up next, and it was for the Intercontinental Championship. Brutus the Barber Beefcake was challenging Intercontinental Champion, the Honky Tonk Man, who had the Mouth of South Jimmy Hart and Peggy Sue out with him. This is a typical Honky Tonk defense. He ends up getting himself DQ'd. So he loses the match but keeps the belt. That was kind of the status quo for Honky throughout the majority of his title reign. He either got himself counted out or disqualified. But it made for great heel heat. So Brutus does get his hands on Jimmy Hart after this one and ends up cutting Jimmy's hair. So there's some, little retribution there for Brutus. So next was the 6-man tag match, and that saw the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith, Dynamite Kid, joined by Koko B, Ware, and they had Matilda and Frankie with them, obviously. And they were facing the Islanders, Haku and Tama, who were, joined by their manager, Bobby the Brain Heenan, who was actually competing. This is great. This kind of plays off the story that had been going on there where the Islanders had kidnapped Matilda, and now, the Bulldogs got her back, but there's all this bad blood, and Heenan's, worried about the dog and everything. So Heenan actually comes out in one of those full attack dog protective suits and wrestles the match in one of those. Great Bobby Heenan work here. Heenan actually is the one that ends up getting the pinfall in this one for his team. The Islanders picked up Heenan and threw him onto Koko for the 3 count while the official was busy trying to get the Bulldogs back out of the ring. So now is our only semifinal match since Dibiase is already advancing via bye, and that saw the Macho Man with Miss Elizabeth taking on the well-rested one-man Gang with Slick. Savage got pretty battered in this one. He was beaten down pretty badly. He ends up getting the win in this via DQ when the official caught Gang using Slick's cane on Savage. But, you know, like I said, what they're trying to do here is say that, you know, Dibiase had the easy path in, and Savage, you know, has, you know, been run through the mill kind of thing to set up. So our finals are set with Dibiase and Savage, but, you know, the story is Dibiase's well rested. He's only wrestled 2 matches. Didn't have to wrestle in the semis. Savage, you know, had to wrestle every round, got battered, yada, yada, yada. So that's the story that's going on there. Before the finals, though, we get the matchup for the WWF World Tag Team Championship. Champions Strikeforce, Tito Santana and Rick Martel, defending against Demolition, Axe and Smash, who had Master Fuji with them. So the finish in this one saw Santana, you know, he hits his flying forearm, and then he tags in Martel, who ends up besting both of Demolition with drop kicks, you know, everything else. And then he goes and he applies his patented Boston Crab on Smash. Fuji gets up on the apron. Santana goes after Fuji. Fuji drops his cane into the ring, which Axe picks up and breaks over Martel's back. The official doesn't see any of this, but turns around in time, you know, to see Smash covering Martel. 1, 2, 3. Winners, new tag team champions, Demolition. And now, the main event of the evening, which was the finals of the tournament to crown a new WWF World Champion, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, who had Andre the Giant with him this time, taking on the Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth in his corner. Savage has handled the majority of this match. Andre lends a hand here and there, obviously. This leads Liz to go running to the back, and out she comes with Hulk Hogan. You know, she brings out the Hulkster to help neutralize Andre. So after a little more chicanery, you know, by Andre, the official is distracted, and Hogan jumps in the ring and wallops DiBiase with the steel chair. This gave Savage his opening that he needed, and goes to the top rope, hits the big elbow. 1, 2, 3, winner and new WWF World Heavyweight Champion, Macho Man Randy Savage. You know, many people, you know, kind of bag on this Mania, and I will admit that it isn't the best, but it also isn't the worst. All right. You know, having a big event like this, host a tournament of this size, is going to make for a long night and many short matches. But it does a great job telling the stories. You know, like I said, it did a great job setting things up with DiBiase kind of having an easier route, Savage going through, you know, so it was great storytelling and everything that was done there. You know, kind of odd finish, so to speak, with, you know, Hogan kind of pulling the heel tactic there, and using the chair on the heel behind the referee's back for his buddy to pick up the win. I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. You know, but, you know, this is our first Mania without Hogan wrestling in the main event, and it's also our first Mania without Hogan leaving with the championship. So those are pluses in my opinion. You know, something different. Like I said, and it also, you know, unbeknownst to everybody, it already kind of started to set up the story for, you know, next year's Mania and everything, which, you know, people didn't know at the time, but like the wheels were already put in motion there. So, like I said, great bit of storytelling there. So in my 10 belt scale, I'll give WrestleMania 4 6 out of 10 belts. All right. Next up, I will discuss Clash of the Champions 2, Miami Mayhem, in my next retrospective. And let's do some mystery belts. All right. So I put this one up last time. Told everybody to take a guess. Anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody know? Right? It was the ECW World Television Championship, used from 96 to 98. It was just a version of the Winged Eagle, used by the WWF for their World Championship. I mean, compared to the WWF's Winged Eagle, this one didn't have side bars, and it had round side plates, as opposed to the stylized kind of ones that the WWF had. And it had the crown at the top rather than any kind of logo. So it was a little simplified in that regard compared to what the WWF was using at the time. And almost this exact same design was later used by Taz on an orange strap for his FTW title, with the ECW across the main plate replaced, obviously, with FTW, and the crown at the top replaced with a big Taz plate. But a very, very similar design there. It was just, a kind of modified Winged Eagle on an orange strap. So just a little bit of ECW trivia there for you. So that was that mystery belt. Let's take a look at this belt. Okay. Post your guesses down below. Give the channel a like, a share, and subscribe. Be good to one another. Stay safe out there. And I will see you when I see you.